Nature doesn't keep secrets. It's only a matter of, do we understand? What tools can we use to expand our knowledge? And for me, dimethyltryptamine, also known as DMT, was the tool that led me to the discovery.
When I first saw the phenomenon, it was like, holy shit!
But then it was actually like, whoa, what is happening?
Am I losing my mind? But then I showed other people, and things kept getting weirder.
Danny Goler claims that he used the drug DMT in combination with lasers to see through the veil and reveal the geometry or code that makes up the simulation. But what if I told you you're already hallucinating and DMT just removes the filter? Your brain uses predictive processing, something scientists call top-down processing.
Most of your thoughts aren't happening in real time. They're predictions, your brain quietly shaping the moment before you even register it. Scientists call it top-down processing, but it feels simpler than that. Your brain is always reaching backward to look forward. It uses your memories, your fears, your patterns like shortcuts, filling in details before your senses finish sending the truth. By the time you interpret a look, a tone, a silence, your mind has already guessed what it means. That's why anxiety feels like déjà vu, why old hurt shows up in new situations. You're not reacting to the moment, you're reacting to the moments that trained you. Your brain isn't malfunctioning. It's trying to keep you alive the fastest way it knows how, by predicting danger before it appears. But when you zoom out, it's strange to realize how much of your life is built from memory, not the moment. How often you're seeing not what's happening, but what your mind expects to happen.
You don't see reality, you see a model. Optical illusions prove perception is editable. Psychedelics may reduce filtering or what's called default mode network suppression. So instead of adding things, they may reveal raw data of the simulation.
The default mode network, or DMN, is the part of the brain that generates your inner voice. In supportive childhoods, this voice becomes encouraging. But in neglected or critical environments, the DMN wires differently. The brain starts repeating the silence, criticism, or rejection it grew up with. That's why so many adults carry an inner critic that sounds less like their true self and more like the echoes of their past. Neuroimaging studies show stronger DMN activity in people with self-critical thoughts and weaker regulation from the prefrontal cortex, which should keep that voice balanced. So when you hear, "I'm not good enough," it isn't weakness. It's a neural imprint from early life. The brain learned to protect you by doubting, so you'd avoid further rejection.
Just for the record, I haven't told him anything. Okay, just tell me what you see.
Oh my God, come on.
Wow, what the fuck? Holy shit. I just saw something. Yeah. What the fuck?
Oh, I've seen that. I feel it.
I've been under the influence of mind-altering substances a lot, but I've never seen anything like that. Whoa.
I showed over 100 people, and I kept asking myself, how are all of us seeing the same thing?
Oh my God. It changing shapes right there.
The laser was revealing numbers and letters running in a pattern.
They're almost like this big here, and it looks like code.
It looked like programming code.
It's definitely saying something, and I just want to take a picture of it and translate it.
Wow.
The double slit experiment. At the smallest level, reality behaves differently when you look at it. For example, particles act like waves until observed, Observation collapses possibilities into one outcome. This suggests that reality isn't fixed until it's perceived. So what happens if your perception changes radically?
This experiment is absolutely wild and may confirm that we're living in a simulation. It was performed by Thomas Young and it's called the double slit experiment. So basically, if you fire particles at a screen through a split, it will make this clumping pattern, okay? What if you add a second slit? You fire the particles, it makes two clumping patterns. Everybody with me? So if you perform this with a wave, this is what you would expect to see. The density would be in the middle and it would disperse outwards, but it would look similar to the clumping pattern with the most density being in the middle. So now let's do it with the two slits. When you do two slits, as the waves pass, they create their own waves, and the waves interfere with each other at different points. This is called an interference pattern, okay? Particles clump together, waves make an interference pattern. So now let's do it with electrons. As you fire it through, you'll see a similar clumping pattern. So as scientists performed it with two slits, they expected to see two clumping patterns, but they didn't. What they saw was this, the interference pattern. For years, the scientists thought, well, maybe these electrons would collide with each other and that's what causes this interference pattern. So in the 60s, they modified the experiment where they would only shoot one electron at a time and it still made the interference pattern. So they wanted to see what was causing this, and so they made an observer. They wanted to record what was happening, and here's what's crazy. With the observer there, the electrons would make two clumping patterns. They would behave the way that they were supposed to. Without the observer, the interference pattern.
You see that?
Okay, so yeah, it's not stuck.
No.
It's not because of the light.
No, it's on its own side. Light is just literally revealing it.
And each angle shows you different layers, different ways through it.
I could see through the wall. It's not like a hallucination. It has spatial awareness and permanence.
I don't know. Whoa.
For centuries, mankind has attempted to explore these psychedelic, altered states, but we've never had a repeatable, testable phenomenon to observe until now.
Wow. I'm obsessed.
It's like you can see through the laser into another dimension.
I mean, like, take yourself to that. Like, I just made a connection that nobody made before, which is a simple connection. The claim is, if you project a diffracted laser on the surface and you smoke DMT, you will see code running in surfaces.
People across the world report seeing the same patterns, or form constants, or in other words, the Kluver patterns. Grids, tunnels, spirals, lattices. Why does this matter? Because these shapes appear when you're on DMT, in a sensory deprivation, or even when you have a migraine. This might suggest that it's not random. This is hardwired geometry of perception.
In 2007, a physicist introduced an idea that shocked even the scientific world. A geometric shape so complex, it might contain everything. Every force, every particle, even gravity.
This particular pattern of charges in 8 dimensions is actually part of the most beautiful geometric structure in mathematics. It's a pattern of the largest exceptional Lie group, E8. This Lie group is a smooth, curved shape with 248 dimensions. Each point in this pattern corresponds to a symmetry of this very complex and beautiful shape.
This shape is called E8. It exists in 248 dimensions, far beyond anything we can imagine, and yet it's built on perfect symmetry.
Yes, like in the Matrix.
So there are a few possibilities. One,
I lost my mind, which is the coolest losing your mind ever in history.
The second option is that
this is the biggest discovery of humankind. If anybody ever asked themselves what it would be like to know you live in the Matrix for sure, well, I know for sure. I'm convinced.
So where do we go from here? All I know is
it's about to get crazy.
CIA and consciousness experiments. The CIA studied whether consciousness could access hidden layers of reality. There's a very famous Central Intelligence Agency document called the Gateway Process. In this document, it claimed consciousness was a frequency system. reality was a holographic projection.
So by now, most of us have heard that the CIA released a document about manifestation, about reality basically being a hologram, and about all the ways that you can tap into what we'd call supernatural abilities and create your reality. And I'm going to break it down section by section with lots of detail, starting with the first thing they comment on, which is hypnosis. They describe hypnosis as a powerful tool for shifting the unconscious mind, because if you can get the left brain to fall asleep, which is the logical brain, then anything you suggest goes directly into the right brain, which is more of the unconscious creative brain, and is accepted as truth. This allows you to brainwash yourself. And the reason this is so important is because later in the document, they talk about how our belief systems are what create the projection and the hologram that allows us to perceive our reality. So essentially, if you change your beliefs, you can change the hologram you're perceiving. And hypnosis and hypnotic suggestions was one of the methods that they were using as a part of this process.